Welcome back. Now, the sectoral debates are set to continue with more ministers billed to appear for a debate that has meant that other legislative businesses have had to be postponed. One would expect that it will have the full attention of all the lawmakers, but that was not the case. Perhaps that will change in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, I know a lot of people have been asking what is happening to the 2016 budget. Will it be signed or will it be returned by the president? Well, I'm sure it's now clear that the budget has been signed into law. This next report looks at the signing of the bill into law.
As the week came to a close, Nigerians were anxious to know the fate of the 2016 budget and when or if it will be signed into law by the president. Journalists in the National Assembly put this question to the Deputy Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Media on Thursday. All the lawmaker had to say is that he is optimistic that the 2016 budget will be signed into law soon. He said his optimism is based on the fact that the committee is set up to look into areas of disagreement between the executive and the legislature had submitted their reports.
And to the question of the budget, it is the same media that has kept the whole country abreast. Don't forget that we are equally Nigerians, and it is our desire for the country to move forward. A committee was set up which was in the papers and was headed by the Deputy Speaker, members from the Senate, as well as from the executive arm, to look at the budget, and I believe the resolutions have been transmitted, or rather, the resolutions have been submitted to the president. I am quite optimistic, and I enjoin all other Nigerians, including yourself, to be as optimistic as me that in the very near future, this budget will be signed into law.
On Friday, news came from the presidential villa that preparations were underway for the signing of the budget by President Muhammadu Buhari. Present at the event, the Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, and the Chairman of both Appropriation Committees of the National Assembly. After the budget was signed, the Senate President promised that the National Assembly would work to ensure the budget is implemented.
But I believe that it's not only in Nigeria, all over the world, the legislation on appropriation and budget is the most important legislation. And all over all the democracies that we practice, there are always issues to do with passing the budget, policies, issue of equity, and some of those kind of issues. And as such, but we thank God that in our country we've been able to come to this today, and I think that has been a great achievement on the part of everybody. In other countries, even in America that we copy, sometimes they close down governments because they've not been able to achieve it. So it is, I think, a great satisfaction that we're here. And there's been effort by all those on both sides, the executive and the legislature. I want to commend all those who work behind the scenes to make today happen. In the process, Mr. President, I think that on a lighter side, I think a lot of your officials and our officials, I think, also lost some weight in the process. Maybe, though it was not planned, but I think it was a good thing as well. I think we have more fitter officials here. But on a serious note, I think we've shown again that despite the challenges, we can come together and work as a government, that we all have the interest of the people that have put us here. And I think we should look at the good side and more, and we forge ahead. The most important part after the signing, of course, is the implementation and ensure that the benefits of Nigerians who waited. The other day, it was yesterday, that a man in the quarry business was telling me that just the fact that he's hearing that Mr. President might sign, there's been activity already. They don't know whether what is in the budget, but just the idea of it at all. Korea activity has picked up. So you can see the interest of our people. So it is all of us responsible to ensure in the implementation. We will play a role to ensure that we follow the money and ensure that this document that is now signed is fully implemented so that Nigerians can benefit.
Before leaving the villa, the Senate President told journalists that he is sure the 2017 budget will be passed without the delays that trailed this budget.
I want to assure Nigerians from the remarks of the President, and our commitment is to see that the budget is implemented. As you all know, it's not just the assent, it's now the implementation. That's when Nigerians begin to see the benefit. And I think that, as I said, let us focus on the good parts and place less. That is behind us now. We have a document that is signed, agreed by all, and I want to assure Nigerians that we will also ensure that the benefits that Nigerians are expecting from this budget will materialize.
President, what's the assurance that we're not going to have this experience in 2017?
Well, it's one, the fact that the process will start earlier. Don't forget that this is government only came in May of last year. We have a long time now to prepare. The government is in place. All the people who are newly appointed, those in the National Assembly, all in place. So I'm sure it will not be like this. But as you say, I think let us focus on what that document is, which is the benefit to Nigerians that we'll begin to see in the implementation. And that is what our role is, to ensure oversight and ensure that Nigerians benefit from what has been signed this morning.
At last, the 2016 budget has been signed into law. Now, what is still not clear, however, is if the issues that led to the delay in signing this bill had been resolved and exactly how they were resolved. We expect things will be clearer in the days ahead when we have more details, I'm sure. Now, the focus will be on implementation, and that is where you come in. To be part of the effective implementation of the budget, you have to know what has been passed in that budget and ensure that it is implemented. That we must all do in the days ahead. Thanks for being there with me on the program. Till next week, I'm Lanre Lasese. Take care.